I'm Josh with American Income Child Safe Division. I'm here to drop off the Child Safe program for John and Mary. Are you John? All right. Is it okay to come in? Is Mary here? Well, we'll need her to join us. Can we use your table? It'll make things go a lot quicker. How are you today? Well, as I shared with you earlier, my name is Joshua Keller. I'm with the Office and Professional Employees International Union Local 277. Here is my insurance license. We are American Income Life. We handle the benefits for the unions, the firefighters, the police officers, the teachers, and have been doing so for over 60 years. We're working with the International Union of Police Associations to get these child safety kits to families. There are 4 ways we can get the kits to you. The first way is the principal of the school endorses the program, sends a letter out to the parents. It looks like this. You fill the card out, send it in the mail, we call and come out. The second way is you fill the card out at a festival or daycare center or online, we call and come out. The third way is you were referred or sponsored by a friend or family member and we call and come out. The fourth way is we call because you have children and we come out. Now this is the last and final attempt to get these kits to you. How were you contacted? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Great. Now, because you care enough about your kids to sign up for these kits, American Income Life is open to some additional benefits to you as if you were a union member, like a firefighter, teacher, or a police officer. A lot of times they find that not only are the children not protected, but the parents aren't either. The Child Safe program is endorsed by the International Union of Police Associations, the American Federation of School Administrators, and the American Federation of Teachers. In fact, here's a sample letter of one of hundreds of schools in the county that sent this letter directly to parents so they could be educated on the importance of this program. The Child Safe program is designed to have families ready in the event of a tragedy striking a household of any kind, such as a child goes missing or a parent would not come home. The purpose is to prepare and ensure the protection and security of the children. There are 5 items that make up the Child Safe program, and all of them are at no cost. First, I'll leave you with a Child Safe kit. In the event a child goes missing, authorities will have all the information they need to find your child and can help with an Amber Alert. Are you familiar with Amber Alert? Second, I'll give you a Florida Sexual Offenders and Predators list. This will list all the sexual offenders and predators that have been arrested in your area. You'll have their picture, their address, and what they were arrested for. Third, I will give you a family information guide. This is a document similar to a will. Unfortunately, a lot of parents don't know this, but if you don't have a will in the state of Florida and both of you were to pass away, if it's not documented where you go, the children will go. DCF can take them for a minimum of 2 to 3 days until they have enough time to interview enough people to figure out who is the best person to watch your child. Now, since no parent wants that to happen, they're giving you the family information guide. It's as close to a will as you're going to get without actually paying for it. Now, we'll leave the document with you to fill out and notarize and keep here in the house, preventing any of that from happening, thus protecting the security of the children. Fourth, they will give you a health services discount card. Now, this is not health insurance, but it should get you between 20 to 60% off on top of your health insurance. I'll leave a booklet with you and you'll get the card in the mail. Fifth, they're also giving you $4,000 in life insurance. Now, they know this is not very much, but in the event something should happen, they want to make sure whoever will take care of the children can at least take care of some of the immediate arrangements. Okay? I just wanted to give you a quick outline of what I was going to cover, as opposed to just giving you a bunch of paperwork without knowing where it came from. Now, there's 2 programs, the no-cost program and a program you must qualify for. If you qualify, you may enroll. These are family protection programs, which are insurance programs that are approved and endorsed by the International Union of Police Associations and the school board. Of those, I'll give you some more information, and you let me know if you have any questions. Right? Now, it's very important that if you have any questions, ask me today. If there's anything you want me to explain again, ask me to explain it again today. If there's anything that you want to do it today, because once I'm done with my day, I have to report all the families that I've seen into the system, and they will not send another agent like me to this same address for a period of 1 year. Their objective is to always deliver these programs to parents who have not been seen instead of those that have, and they don't condone us skipping anyone for any reason. So please, do anything you need to do today. Also, you may or may not receive a random verification call. They do those just to make sure we are doing our job correctly. All right, so my job is simply to go over everything, and because I do this 6 to 8 times a day, they've made things a little quicker and a little bit easier, and they put some of it here on the laptop. The laptop will explain some, and I will explain the rest. If you folks have any questions at any time, I'll stop whatever I'm doing and answer all your questions. Okay. Is it okay to plug my laptop in over here? Thank you. Well, I've been talking all day. Do you mind if I got a glass of water? Now, this first video will explain a little bit about us. One of the ways we give back to the community is by offering positions within our company. Do you know of anybody who is unhappy with their job or looking for a job? The Child Safe program is designed to protect your children. I'll let the video explain the importance. Okay. Anything that you would write that's permanent, like their age, like their name, you write in ink. Anything that's temporary, like their height, weight, you write in pencil. Over here, you'll attach a fingernail clipping or hair follicle for the DNA sample. And down here, you have their right and their left hands. Place the plastic down here on any area that you want to protect. This area, this comes apart. And you want to just help them by pressing their fingers, not rolling because their fingers are smaller than ours. And then once that dries, you can put it back in its protective cover. Any questions? All right, here you go. The second benefit I will give you is the Florida Sexual Offenders and Predators List. It will list all the sexual offenders that were predators that were arrested for assault on a child in your neighborhood. So you Google Florida Sexual Offenders and Predators. Click on the search here, enter your address like I have done, and it'll show you that there are 44 predators within a 2-mile radius. It has their picture, their address, and what they were arrested for. It always shows the closest one first, which is on average about 0.2 miles away, which is about 350 yards from your front door. Have you ever seen Gregory before? The next thing I'll show you is the Predator Alert button. You know, most parents, when they find out about this free website, they're going back to it every week, every month, some even every day, seeing anything has changed. Click on this alert button, enter your address and your email address, and they will notify you if anybody moves into your area and send you their information. And then once your children are old enough, be sure and show them these pictures. Any questions? Now, I need you to grab your cell phone for me so we can make contact under C for Child Safe Kit. That way, if you lose the kit, damage the kit, or as the children grow, you'll be guaranteed to replace the kit at no cost again. Now, I don't mean to alarm you, but there are over 500 children that are reported missing every year. That's 1,300 children each day that do not come home to their parents like your children came home to you. Unfortunately, Florida is third worst behind California and Texas for child abductions and human trafficking. Now, when they found out about this, they decided to do something about it. Their goal is to have 75% of families in the Florida area with this program by the end of 2018. Now, this is a monumental goal, and it's going to take the whole community to do it. So what they're asking us to ask you for your help. Now, it's not money, if that's what you're thinking. It's a lot simpler than that. They're asking you for 10 people that you know of with children. They're asking for their name, their phone number, and how many kits they need, and for you to contact them and let them know what you've done for them. It's called the Save a Child's Life program. Would you like to save a child's life today? Who's the first parent that you'd like to sponsor? Okay. And the next one? Now, John and Mary, you have my commitment that I will get a hold of these 10 people. Now, please understand that I see 8 to 10 folks a day, so I'll have to try to squeeze them in. But of these here, who would you say was the most important to contact? Okay. Please give that person a call and let them know that I'll be contacting them. Now, if you would, send a text to all of the people that you've sponsored with these 3 important things in your own words. Free, Child Safe Kit, and that Josh will be contacting them. Okay? The hardest part of my job is people thinking I'm a debt collector. All right. Your next benefit is $2,000 in life insurance. This is accidental death insurance. We put one on you, John, and one on you, Mary. Now, this is not your policy. This is just an application. So, Mary, you put your name here, and your beneficiary, I assume, is John. Put that here, John. You put your name here, and your beneficiary, Mary. Your date certificate delivered is today's date. Once you fill that out in its entirety, you're going to mail it to this address that I've circled here. And in 2 to 3 weeks, you should get your policy in the mail. Now, this policy is at no cost for the first year. After the first year, it's only $1 per 1,000 per year. So this would be $2 per year. At that time, if you want to renew it, again, it's only $1 per 1,000 per year. The most they'll let you get is $25,000. But that would be $25 a year. Okay. Any questions? Here you go. Next, they're giving you a family information guide. Do you guys have a will? Okay. This is as close as you're going to get without actually paying money for it. Over here you have your vital statistics, veteran information if you're a veteran. If not, leave this part blank. Spouse statistics, excuse me. Over here, a person be notified in case you go unconscious, person to be in charge of your final arrangements. Now, you said you don't have a last will and testament, so you just leave this area blank. For your estate information, do you have any life insurance through your work or outside of your work? Okay. It's very important that you put that information down, whatever you have. Between $20 to $30 million worth of life insurance goes unclaimed every year because the beneficiaries don't know about it. If it goes unclaimed, guess who gets it? That's the government, right? Over here, your financial institution, you have a bank or use a bank or a credit union. Safety deposit box, if you got one here, if not, leave that blank. And your funeral service request. Now, nobody likes to talk about what's going to happen to them in the end, but once you talk about it and you write it down here, you never have to have that conversation again. So, Mary, do you want to be buried or cremated? John? All right. Whatever your decision is, you write it right here. Okay. The most important part of the special instructions. Right here you put, when I die, I want the children to go to so-and-so. Make sure you tell your family members that you've made this decision, okay? Now, once you fill this out in its entirety, take it to your bank. What bank do you use? Okay. Yeah, they'll be able to notarize it for you. Don't sign it here, sign it at the bank. Once you do, whatever you do not keep it in a safe deposit box. Most people aren't going to know you have a safe deposit box, and if they did, they're not going to be able to get access to it anyways. What you want to do with this very important document is put it in a Ziploc bag and tape it to the inside wall of your refrigerator. You do this for 2 reasons. One, God forbid your whole house was to burn down, the only thing to be left standing is the refrigerator. The other reason is if you call the paramedics and you should go unconscious before they get here, first thing they're trained to do is check on you, and the second thing they're trained to do is check in the refrigerator for any medication you have, such as an EpiPen or a diabetes, for some reason that you might have gone unconscious. So there will be your family information. Any questions on that? All right. Last benefit is this health services discount card. It is not like health insurance, all right? The basic program is provided at 0 cost and should get you between 20 to 60% off on eye care, hearing, prescription drug coverage, and your chiropractics. If you want to take advantage of this program, you just fill it out here, put a stamp on it, and mail it, and in 12 to 14 days, you'll get a card in the mail that looks like this. All right? Any questions about your no-cost benefits? Do you have any questions? All right. Do you remember when I mentioned the family protection programs? And before I go any further, I must read this mandatory read-off letter. The following benefits are being made available to on a voluntary basis through the school board and the International Union of Police Associations and American Income. Because your time is valuable and to be fair to the many parents waiting to be visited, your representative is allowed to stop by only once to advise you on your benefits and answer any questions you may have. If your benefits make sense, apply today. But either way, your opinion counts, and we would ask that you respond on an officer report form. You know how the schools like their report cards? Well, we like our report cards too. You fill that on the program that you're experiencing today. All right, so what this letter is saying in a nutshell is there's an advantage and a disadvantage. The advantage is you have access to programs you didn't have access to before. If you want to do it, that's okay. If you don't want to do it, that's okay. The disadvantage is you will not see us again for a period of 1 year. You know how a 401k is a once-a-year enrollment? Well, this program is also a once-a-year enrollment. Does that make sense? Fair enough? Do you have any questions? Each family that fills out a card is seen separately because each family has different need and different want. What might be right for you may not be right for the family we just saw or the family we'll see after you. So, because everybody has different need and different want, they want me to catch everybody up to speed about the different types of life insurance available. A lot of people have life insurance, however, they find they don't know what they have or how it works. So there's accident, term, and whole life. Accidental is pretty self-explanatory. Slip, boom, you're an angel, somebody's getting some money. Term goes for a period of time and then terminates. You can get term through your work or outside of your work. Of course, once you leave your work, all your benefits go bye-bye, but you knew that. Term acquired through outside of your work is typically for 20 years. So, John, how old are you now? Okay. But typically, term is 20 years, so you're 42 now. In 60 years, you will be 62. Let's say, as an example, you're paying a $50 premium every month. So that's $50 times 12 months times 20 years is $12,000 that you've put into that policy. Right? If you're still alive in 20 years, that's great. But do you think you're going to see any of that $12,000 you've paid? Or do you think they're going to keep it? Exactly. Good job. All right. Now, it's 20 years later. You're no spring chicken. That same $50 premium you were paying, you think that's going to stay the same? You think it's going to go way up because of inflation? Absolutely. What do you think? Yeah, absolutely. It's going way up. Now, there's pros and cons to both whole life and term. One of the cons to term is it only pays out 2 to 3% of the time. Now, why is that? Well, there's two reasons. The first reason is you have a term that goes up because of age, health, and inflation. You have a term that goes up because of age, health, and inflation. It just keeps stair-stepping like that until it becomes so expensive you can't afford it anymore. The other reason is something happens to you medically in that time, such as you get cancer, you get into an accident, or you develop a disease like diabetes, and that makes you uninsurable, and they won't let you buy it again. Any questions about term? Whole life is the complete opposite of term. Term terminates, whole life goes for your whole life. We'll use that same $50 premium as an example. It's going to stay the same forever. It doesn't matter if you get cancer, get into a bad accident, or develop diabetes. Your premium amount never goes up and your coverage never goes down. And where in term, you're never going to see your money again. In whole life, it's gaining 5% interest. And where in term, it only pays out 2 to 3% of the time. In whole life, it pays out 100% of the time. Okay. Now, do you understand the difference between accidental term and whole life? Now that you have a better understanding about the different types of health insurance or life insurance, we're just going to ask you a couple of questions to see exactly what you qualify for. All right? Okay, John, what month were you born? What day? What year? Mary, what month were you born? What day? What year? Okay. The next part is critical. In order to receive the additional benefits, there are 3 criteria you must meet in order to qualify for the program. The first criteria is you must be a member of the union or have a child under 18, which you are. So there's nothing to worry about there. The second criteria is you have to enroll during the enrollment period, which is while I'm sitting right here. And then the third criteria, which is the most critical to qualify for the program, is you have to be in good health. There's a lot of families that we see both want and need this program and are unable to qualify due to their health. So I want to ask you some questions about your health to see if you're able to qualify for the program. Okay, John, Mary, anyone living in the household, have you had any internal cancer in the past 2 years? Breast, colon, pancreatic, or uterine? Insulin, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, heart attack, stroke, peripheral vascular disease, Currently using oxygen through a tube, terminal illness, Alzheimer's, although I don't know how you'd remember that, but okay. Have you used any form of tobacco in the last 12 months, including the occasional cigar? Are you currently on probation or parole? Ever been arrested or convicted of a DUI or anything else? Mom, are you taking any medications prescribed by a doctor? Dad, are you taking any prescriptions prescribed by a doctor? Okay. What's it for? How long have you been taking it? Is it under control? Okay. All right, John. What is your monthly take-home income after taxes and insurances? Mary, what's yours? All right. Do you have any insurance through your job? How much do you have? Okay. Let me tell you how that works. Now, while you're working for your company, you're covered. But if you quit, get fired, or retire, your benefits are gone forever and you're no longer covered. But you knew that. Do you understand how job insurance works? Okay. All right. Do you have any permanent insurance in place that would pay for your final expenses and unpaid medical bills? Okay. John, if you had died last night, who would be taking care of your funeral arrangements today? Do they know that? Do they have $15,000 in their checking or savings that they could write a check for that amount and not change how they live financially? Yeah, that's why it's so important to have a plan in place so that your untimely death doesn't have to be a financial loss for the people you care most about. We have a plan that covers that, and I'll show you how it works in a minute. Right. Do you have a insurance policy that would pay a large sum of money to your wife that would cover your lost income so she could continue to pay the household bills? Mary, do you? Mary, if John had died last night and his income was gone forever, would you still be able to pay the mortgage, the car, the utilities, and put food on the table? John, if Mary had died, would you still be able to pay all the bills? You know, most families are in the same situation. Mary, wouldn't you sleep better at night knowing you had a plan in place to protect John's income? We've got a great plan that covers that need. I'll show you how it works in a minute. Do you own or rent? How much do you owe on your mortgage? Do you have a policy in place that would pay off your mortgage if either of you were to pass away unexpectedly from an accident? Okay. And is it safe to assume that you want your children to go to college? Do you know how much a college tuition costs these days? Have you set aside any money so that if either of you were to pass away unexpectedly from an accident, your children could still go to college? Okay. All right. This first part is your deductible replacement. This is designed to cover you for any accident on or off the job. It'll cover you, Dad, and you, Mom, and all the kids. All right? Say you're walking out to your car one morning, you slip, twist your ankle. You think it's broken, so you go to the ER. It's not. It's just a bad sprain. Doctor says to stay off your feet for a couple of days. A couple of days off your feet means a couple of days off of your job. Now, on top of the lost income you have for that day, you're going to have co-pays and out-of-pocket expenses. They're going to help cover some of those out-of-pocket expenses and give you $100 each and every time you go to the ER, walk-in clinic, or your doctor for an accident. Now, this money does not get paid to the doctor, the hospital, or to your insurance program. It is tax-free money that is sent directly to you in the mail. Now, let's say you're driving through town, you're on your way to work, you're in a hurry, somebody's in a bigger hurry, bam, now they cut you off, you're in the hospital for 10 days. Now, just because you're out of work, does that mean that your bills stop coming? No. So, each and every night that you spend in the hospital, they're going to pay you $200 every night. So 10 days times $200, that's $2,000. Are you going to be worrying about your bills if you know you got $2,000 coming to you? No. And they're going to cover you 300 for a full year. That's 365 days a year. 365 times 200, that's $73,000. Now, if you were to stay in the hospital for a full year, that's pretty difficult. But if it would happen, would $73,000 come in handy? Now, let's say that accident is more severe than any of us like, and you've got head trauma or internal bleeding, and they move you to intensive care. While you're in intensive care, they're going to double those benefits to $400 for up to 14 days. Now, after you get out of intensive care, you're not going home right away. You're definitely not going to be putting on your clothes and going to work the next day. No, they're going to move you back to a regular room for recovery, at which point you go back to the $200 a day for up to 365 days. Any questions about your deductible replacement? Okay. Now your final expenses, Dad, you've been approved for $9,000. Mom, you've been approved for $9,000. And there's a $10,000 rider for each of the kids. This is that whole life that I was telling you about that earns 5% interest. Okay. Any questions about the final expense coverage? Now, 97% of the people under the age of 65 that die prior to the age of 65 do so in an accident. Think about what you hear on the TV all the time. You got drive-by shootings, fire, car accidents. And if the good Lord would take you tomorrow, do you think it'd be because of old age heart attack or because of an accident? Yeah, exactly. So, in the event of a standard accident, and what's a standard accident? That's a slip, boom, you're an angel. Dad, you're going to leave Mom $220,000. Mom, you're going to leave Dad $220,000. Now, this is on top of that $9,000 in final expenses. Mom, yours is on top of that final $2,000 and $9,000 in final expenses, and the kids would leave $4,000. Now, if you were to pass away in an auto accident, Dad, that'd be $240,000 on top of the $9,000 for $249,000. Mom, you'd leave Dad $240,000. That's on top of the $9,000 for $249,000, and the kids would have $8,000. If you were to pass away in a common carrier accident is going to be an airplane, a bus, a taxi, Uber, anything you pay to ride in or on. Dad, you'd leave Mom $300,000 on top of your final expenses of $9,000 for $309,000. Mom, you'd leave Dad $300,000. That's on top of your $9,000 in final expenses for $309,000, and the kids would get $20,000. Any questions about your accidental death benefits? Okay. Now, in the event that you were to lose a hand, foot, or eye, you're not going back to work the next day. It's going to be a little bit of time of recovery. So, Dad, they're going to pay you $10,000. Mom, they're going to pay you $10,000, and the kids will get $2,000. In the event you lose in an auto accident, Dad, they're going to pay you $20,000. Mom, they're going to pay you $20,000, and the kids would get $4,000. And if you lost your hand, foot, or eye on a common carrier accident, Dad, again, that's airplane, bus, taxi, Uber, anything that you pay to ride in or ride on. Dad, you're going to get $50,000. Mom, you're going to get $50,000, and the kids would get $10,000. And this pays out 2 times in your lifetime. Now, any questions about your accidental dismemberment benefits? Okay. Now, Mom, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 areas of coverage, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 of you. How many hundreds of dollars do you think a program like this would cost you out there? Okay. Dad, how much do you think it would cost? Actually, it's only $137. The reason it's so low is because we don't have a caveman, a duck, or a gecko. So what they want me to ask you is, do you want to do the recommended or do you want to do something less? Then don't do it. Then don't do it. If you have to think about $137, then don't do it. There's a difference between needs and wants. Everyone needs coverage. Everybody wants lots of coverage. With this economy, most people are focusing more on their needs, so the family is at least somewhat covered. And that's the most important thing to you, right? So what most people are doing in your situation is just doing something less, knowing they can go back up to what they want later. So do you want to start at somewhere right above 100 or below 100? How about somewhere between 85 and 95? Okay. What about $15 to $20 a week. So $20 a week times 4 weeks, that's $80. Okay, what about $15 a week? Mom, that's $750 from you. Dad, that's $750 from you. What could you get rid of in your weekly budget, such as one less coffee, movie, McDonald's, so you can make sure your family's protected? Mom, what could you get rid of? Dad, what about you? Okay. Mom, that's $750 from you. Dad, that's $750 from you. We can do that? All right. Put that's $15 a week. Mom, can we do $15 a week? Dad, can we do $15 a week? Okay. 4 weeks of that, that's $60 a month. Mom, can we do $60 a month? Dad, we do $60 a month? Okay. Let me ask you a question. Say next month you're driving down the road and you get a flat tire and you can't just fix it with a plug for a couple of dollars. You're going to have to buy a brand new tire. Can you afford to pay for that brand new $60 tire and this program in the same month? Okay, I think you have your answer there. So what a lot of people are doing in your situation is just lowering it $5 or $10 until their financial situation improves, and they can go back up to what they want later. So you want to do like $50 or $55. Okay, you'd be surprised what you can get for $50 a month.